All right, man. Peace. So, I definitely wanted to do a video on this issue because I've spoken on this in the past. I'm not sure if I've ever spoken on this extensively on this channel, but there is an issue going on across America that's very reflective of the mental psychoses that I speak on in regards to the modern day liberal woman. If you notice, many of these quote unquote teachers in America are engaging in sexual intercourse with their students, and they almost exclusively happen to be female. And we know for a fact that it is almost exclusively female because America goes out of its way to glorify the woman, particularly the liberal woman, and to demonize the man. So we know for a fact that if it was an equal amount of men who were having sex with female students as it is women having sex with young male students, you would definitely see more men on the television, and they would be portrayed more as sexual predators than as people who just have a mental issue. You'll notice that many of these females are projected as people who are troubled, and it's true, they are troubled, but it's really indicative of a mental problem that encompasses almost all liberal women in America, almost all women period in America, because most of them are liberal. All right, and that's the over infatuation with youth. But you know what? Let's let some of these stories run. I'll chime in.
A UConn teacher behind bars, 22-year-old Hunter Day, was an emergency certified teacher at UConn High School teaching chemistry. She had no teaching experience at all prior to this, but she was arrested late last night on 3 charges: rape in the 2nd degree, child pornography, and soliciting sex from a minor. The superintendent does say that she was arrested for engaging in an inappropriate relationship with a high school student.
And look, it's very, very clear and very obvious that they should not allow females of a certain age to teach high schoolers or even junior high, because the problem now is becoming so gross. And when I say gross, I don't mean nasty. When I say gross, I mean extreme, that it's obvious that they have to do something about it, because they're not going to be able to change the mentality of most of these women. So you are going to have to restrict their access to many of these young boys. And why is it that so many of these young females are gravitating towards young boys? Because it represents feminism. It represents a chance to feel supreme or authoritative over a male, which is something that they can't get when they're dealing with a grown man.
Students' parents were the ones to realize that something was happening. They got a hold of their son's phone. That's when they noticed and discovered text messages between their son and Mrs. Day, nude photos, and they were concerned that they were already having sex, so they sent their son's phone over to the sheriff's department in Canadian County. That's when they uncovered those text messages and determined, in fact, that Day and the student were, in fact, having sex. Now, they even said that the son made plans on Wednesday to meet up with Day to have sex, and it was Wednesday night in which she was arrested.
This behavior was representative of a very poor decision by a person entrusted with teaching our students. The safety and well-being of our students is our #1 priority. UConn utilizes application references, interviewing protocols, and
Bullshit. You're talking about you utilize application references. Well, then why do you have a teacher who has no teaching experience trying to teach high schoolers? You brought the bitch in to teach chemistry, and she's thinking when it says chemistry, it's talking about love. Oh, I have a lot of chemistry with him. Oh, man. As I tell you, brothers, incessantly, it's very obvious that the woman has to be moderated because they're children. All right? Which is one of the reasons why they're so attracted to children, because that's what they are. All right? The average woman, especially around her age, she looks to be somewhere in her mid to late 20s, maybe early 20s. But she still has the mental age, the same mental age of a girl about 14 years old. So that's why she's able to get, into a quote unquote relationship with a young boy and feel like she has a kinship. But what she has over him is the life experience of 10 plus years, to where she feels like she can just cut him off and then move on to the next. And for the most part, that's when you see a lot of these boys, they get mad and then they'll snitch on the teacher, is when she's done with them, and then she move on to the next boy. And then the boy realized he was just some little dick for the year, for the semester. Now she wants a new little dick for the next semester. Then they want to go and snitch and start sending her text messages talking about, and that's how dumb these women are. They don't even know how to cover their tracks.
State background checks prior to hiring any employee in the district in an effort to protect our students. None of these security checks revealed anything that would have alerted the district to the possibility of discipline. Yukon Public School.
Yeah. Nothing could have alerted you to the fact that she was a damn degenerate and a pervert, other than the fact that she's 23, 24 years old, trying to teach a bunch of high schoolers. At that age, she should be teaching kindergartners. There's no way that she should be teaching high schoolers at 23 years old. I think that we have enough of a track record on the conduct of these women to know and understand that, no, we're going to have to keep you away. Really, women shouldn't be teaching anybody other than their own children, to be honest with you. Or children that's, in kindergarten or first grade. Women shouldn't be teaching no children that's, in the 7th, 8th, 9th grade. Unless the woman is like 60 years old and up. Then you can let them teach high schoolers. All right, so now this is going to be another story about a teacher engaging in sexual exploits with some students down in Texas. Let's see what they have to say.
Only on 5 tonight, the Siskiyou County District Attorney is detailing the charges filed against Mary Fletcher.
Fletcher was arrested yesterday for allegedly having sexual contact with members of the Mount Shasta football team.
NBC5's Elizabeth Ruiz joins us live in studio with more on the case tonight. Elizabeth?
With the damn football team. Well, shit, let me find out. She told the football coach, look, I want to get in front of the team and show them how to play center. I'm going to get down in 3-point stance. I want everybody to get behind me.
Craig and Kristen, according to the Siskiyou County District Attorney's Office, Mary Fletcher, who goes by Debbie, has been charged with unlawful sexual intercourse with 3 different victims. She's also been charged with trying to keep a witness from cooperating with law enforcement. District Attorney Kirk Andrus says cases like these are never easy, and he's trying to be sensitive to the victims.
Let me say this first off. You'll often find with these female teachers that are having sex with these high school or pubescent boys in junior high school that is oftentimes multiple students. Once again, these are not relationships. These females are predators. And the reason why you see so much of it is because the modern day woman does not really know how to relate to a man anymore. Okay? They don't really know how to relate to a man. They don't know how to dwell in a space with a man anymore. The majority of them don't. So now they have to turn towards little boys, and a lot of them strategically try to get placed in high schools because they are attracted to boys of that age. Why? Because a boy of that age is oftentimes interested in the same thing that they're interested in, right? Most women who are trying to get started teaching around their mid to late 20s, they have the mental mind frame of somebody 14, 15 years old. They're still interested in being hip, and they get turned on when a young boy finds them attractive because it makes them feel young. Remember, the woman is infatuated with youth. Most of them are scared of getting older because they know that their looks are intrinsically linked with their appeal. Very few people are going to look at an old woman and say, oh man, I just love how she thinks. Like, for the most part, people understand that when you look at the woman, you're looking at her for her physical characteristics. Now, once that appeals to you, then you get to know her and you find out if, what her flaws are or what, her strengths are, personality-wise or mentally. But it's a major indicator of the psychological problems that many of these modern-day females have, that you see the propensity of these teachers in engaging in quote-unquote relationships with their students. It's really a reflection of what little knowledge they have on how to deal with grown men and how fearful they are of being put in situations where a grown man will stipulate things to them or dominate them.
I have spoken with some of the victims, and, these cases are always challenging. I mean, especially for a young person that are, by definition, not prepared for this kind of a relationship. Relationship is probably the wrong word, but they're not.
Well, you already know it's the wrong word. It's not no damn relationship. It's manipulation. And once again, it's all about power. It's very similar to how a grown man would be with a child that they were molesting or somebody like that. Right? It's all about power and not being questioned. And what happens with most of these females is they don't really know what the hell they're doing. They don't know how to quote unquote end the relationship or the connection with the boy. So, then they want to move on to the next one and the next one. And like I stated before, the boy gets upset and then he wants to go and start to threaten the female teacher, with outing them if she doesn't, try to get back with them. But most of these female teachers, they only want to deal with the student for like a semester. They're there as predators.
Prepared for this kind of interaction with an adult.
Fletcher was arrested yesterday, booked into jail, then released after making bail. Her bail was set to $10,000. Andress says bail in Siskiyou County is set according to a schedule that is established by judges of the Superior Court. He says the amount is the same no matter the gender. Fletcher will be back in court for arraignment on March 22nd. Live in studio, Elizabeth Ruiz, NBC5 News.
All right, so now this teacher right here decided that she was going to engage in a relationship with a student where it was going to get to the point where the student decided that they were going to blackmail the teacher.
Dallas police say a middle school teacher was being blackmailed by a teenage student she was having an improper relationship with. Court documents show she paid an estimated $28,000 to the student after he threatened to tell police. Tal Sandy.
God damn. $28K. This bro had $28,000 to get a student. Where's she teaching at? God damn. And that shows you that she really did not want it to come out. And now this is the Asian woman. So that just goes to show you, once again, this is a societal issue. Okay? So many of these females are teeter-tottering with their sanity. The liberal female is. Because they're so busy trying to act as if they have everything together and they have it so buttoned up. But in reality, they're about to come apart.
Joan taught at Raul Quintanilla Senior Middle School in West Oak Cliff. She was arrested last.
Senior Middle School. Didn't I tell y'all? And this also this is in Oak Cliff. Isn't that in Texas also? The fuck going on in Texas? All these broads fucking their students, man. I mean, shit.
Friday, Fox 4's Deanna Zoga is live tonight at DISD headquarters. And Deanna, you had a chance to speak with the student's mother. You've got more on how all of these allegations came to light. What can you tell us?
Well, Heather, the mother says that she tracked some suspicious text messages back to a teacher that her son had for 8th grade math last year. She took screenshots.
Look at that shit, 8th grade. I told you they should not allow females under 60 to teach students that are above 1st grade. I'm telling you. Don't allow it. Because the teacher going to end up fucking your damn son. I mean, shit, you go to, you have a son, you send him to school, you'd be like, okay, you learn your algebra, you learn your grammar, you also learn how to fuck. I mean, what the hell's going on here?
To the school contacted DISD police to investigate, and the district took the teacher out of class that very day.
There was messages on there where he told her...
What the hell is going on here? What is going on in Oak Cliff? This bitch look like she's a member of the Mexican mafia. Let me find out that she sent her son into school to entrap the teacher. This story is starting to get a little spicy now. I have a feeling that this chick is set to broad up. She probably took her son to school and said, look, that bitch is thirsty over there. You go ahead and give her some Mexican dick. You give her some of that burrito you got, and, we'll extort the bitch.
I need you to bring me some money. I need it now. If you don't bring it, I will, start calling cops, reporting, taking out pictures.
Nydia wanted to speak with us about her son. Agreeing to share her story on camera as long as we don't use her last name.
This really changed my son. This really turned my son into...
Come on, as long as you don't use her last name. Is it that hard to figure out? We know it ends in a Z, all right? Fernandez, Juarez. We know we already got one letter, okay?
The person that he wasn't, but the number in.
Nydia tells us about the text messages, also quoted in court documents, that tipped her off to her son's alleged blackmail of a teacher. She'd later learned the teacher is accused of having sex with her son. when he was 14 years old.
At times, he started getting into drugs, drinking, leaving the house. And, I mean, he would probably get money and just leave the whole weekend.
So you blaming her for that? You saying that your son is a drug addict because the teacher turned him out into drugs? I mean, look, I'm not trying to racially profile the broad, but she looked like she's Southeast Asian. You know, maybe she's from Thailand or Vietnam or something. I know there's a lot of them down in Texas. I don't know if they're quite known for getting people strung out on drugs. I think that just your son may have had that problem before her. He may have introduced her to smoking some shit. You know, got her smoke. Hey, if a bitch like the ride you giving her, she'd do anything that you want her to do.
I wouldn't hear from him. I'd be out looking for him.
Court documents say that Nydia reported the text to Quintanilla Middle School on January 10th, demanding the teacher, 27-year-old Tao Sandy Doan, stop giving her son money. Police say a detective then interviewed Doan, who admitted she had sex with one of her students 3 separate times in 2015, then again last month. A search warrant affidavit also said
3 separate times in 2015. No, you mean you had sex with him 3 separate times in 1 week in 2015. How many times did you have sex with him in total? I bet you 97 times.
As Doan confirmed, the student received an image of her exposing her breasts and that the two engaged in explicit texting.
What type of desperate, silly bitch you got to be to send a student in junior high, you know, your tig old biddies in a text message? I mean, hello, you a teacher, but you don't know that those messages get tracked? You that desperate? That's how I know she just liked the ride. She must have liked the ride that she was getting, because the broad gave him $28K and she's buying him drugs. I mean, damn.
She also told police she began receiving demands for cash starting last New Year's Day in exchange for the student's silence. Police say Doan withdrew money from her bank and took out payday loans to the tune of $28,000.
Damn, got the got the broad literally breaking the bank over a 14-year-old. Hey, let me tell you something. He's lucky, because a different type of bitch might have put a contract on his ass.
She did very bad. She did bad, and I'm not condoning what he did, because I know he was wrong at what he also did, because blackmailing is not acceptable.
Nydia says she believes the money was...
This broad acting. She got too much ink on her to be acting so righteous. I believe she was the mastermind behind the whole thing. And she told her son, look, just take this L like a soldier. I'm gonna act on TV. We're gonna see if we can bullshit our way out of this one. And pin it on her.
Used on drugs, and that her son, now 15 years old, was wrong. But that an adult should have known better.
I mean, this is very hurtful, because he's a victim here, and he was the child. He is the child. He's still a child.
Well, let me say this. Yeah, he's a child, and the teacher's a child too. And if you ain't 45 yet, you a child too. All right, there's 3 children in this equation here. 3 children.
But it hurts me because I've been through a lot with him.
Nydia says her son currently is in a juvenile detention center. She says he's facing some other serious charges, burglary and robbery, not related to this case. She believes the most recent payment.
Oh, okay. So the Thailand teacher, she wanted her little Mexican thug. Okay, I see now. I see what's going on now.
Him was made the day before Nydia reported the text messages to the school, and she believes that amount was around $1,500. The teacher, Doan, was arrested on Friday by DISD police. She bonded out on Saturday. She does face a felony charge of improper relationship between an educator and student. DISD says right now, Heather, she is on administrative leave.
All right, Deanna, thank you.
Yeah, she should be on administrative leave. She should be on administrative leave permanently. They need to send her pervy ass to some type of psychiatrist so that she can get help. All right? Once again, they should not be allowing these young teachers to be around these students, man. I personally believe that they're purposefully trying to get teaching positions at junior high schools and high schools so that they can figure out what boys they could use for their own entertainment. Once again, most of these women are very, very lonely, and don't know how to interact with a man. They're frustrated with their failed relationships, and now they want to start dealing with a lot of little boys in high school, man. It's pathetic. All right, so now this is going to be the last teacher that I report on in regards to this issue. This is another Texas high school teacher. Must be a lot of freaky shit going on down there in Texas, you know. They claim that Texas only has two things, steers and queers. Seems like it got a lot of holes down there, too. But anyway.
Good evening. I'm Robert Hemlock. Shannon Wolfson has the night off. A Lockhart ISD teacher accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student is out of jail tonight. Police believe this woman, 27-year-old Sarah Fowlks, engaged in...
And look, this is how you know that most of these females, they have mental problems. Because if you look at this white woman, you would think that, you know, she can go to a little bar, a little hokey bar down there in Texas and get a man. You would think, right? But once again, it is a mental issue. They don't know how to deal with men. So they have to deal with little boys.
Sexual contact with a 17-year-old male student. She was arrested today and posted bond just hours later. KFCN News spoke with a detective on this case. He's
Yo, she dealt with a 17-year-old male student. She probably told her girlfriend. She said, "Oh yeah, I'm dating an older man." They said, "How old?" She said, "Oh, 17." She said, 17? Wow. You never been with anybody that mature before. You normally go for the junior high school boys. She said, "Yeah, he's growing a mustache. You know, he's such a grown man."
Says in all of his 5 years working investigations with the Lockhart Police Department, they've never investigated a teacher for having an inappropriate relationship with a student.
17 years old is obviously an older kid, but at the same time, it doesn't make anything right. I mean, if the kid's in school, their parents trust the school to take care of their kids, and so it's definitely not right that a teacher in a position of power over a student be able to take advantage of a student that way.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it's all about. It's about the power. It's about them saying, look, you know, I have the authority in this dynamic. I don't have the authority in a regular relationship dynamic because I'm not on a man's level, but I am on a boy's level mentally. I know tricks that he doesn't know yet. So this will be more thrilling for me. Plus, he's into more things that, you know, that I'm into than grown men are. All right. I can speak to him and we could talk about, you know, Care Bears and G.I. Joe and shit, you know, and I can't speak to a grown man like that.
Fowlks has been with the Lockhart Independent School District since the fall of 2014. She's now been suspended by the district. Lockhart's ISD superintendent says the district does not tolerate any improper communication or contact between a teacher and a child.
Yeah, well, look, I'm not surprised about anything that has gone on in any of these schools when you're dealing with the so-called liberal female and you're dealing with these different psychoses. People are going to have to come to understand that, look, these people are dealing with psychological disorders. All right. And when brothers understand that, it's going to be much, much easier for you to interact with these women when you understand the psychoses that they're dealing with because of how they're raised in this society. OK, once again, if there was the multitude of men that were getting revealed for having intercourse with young girls that you're seeing with these women having intercourse with young men in these schools, they would have it on 2020, the nightly news. They say, oh, it's an epidemic of men just using up these little girls in these schools and being sexual perverts and degenerates. But with these women, you don't see it. You don't see a mainstream story about it for whatever reason. Well, we know what the reason is already, but, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, peace.